Hoplite Battle Royale is Minecraft's fastest growing server, reaching new peaks every single day. Unfortunately, I'm awful at it, not even being able to reach deathmatch. Luckily though, I have a solution. While playing, I noticed a lot of people constantly ask others to team with them, even though a team-based mode already exists. After putting 2 and 2 together, I realized that if I teamed with people and then brutally backstabbed them like 2.2's release date, then I could get a bunch of free heads. Following me spending an eternity waiting for this dumb queue to finally be over, I would join my first match. After robbing this entire villager's livestock for the year and wasting half the durability of my sword, I went mining, eventually finding my first subject. I tried greeting him, but he ghosted me more than my Roblox girlfriend. I would tell him that this was my first time playing, and he said the same back. Someone nearby caught on to my lie though, pointing out that I was already a 3-star. My entire cover was blown, and I had to think of something quick. I lied about this being my brother's account, and surprisingly, no one batted an eye. I would follow Rexile for a bit, even helping him climb the terrain with a water bucket. I felt a bond with us. We were plowing fields together, and everything was aligning perfectly. I offered him some bread just to bring our alliance closer. He seemed reluctant though, claiming I wasn't his teammate, and that if I were to become his teammates, I would get banned. I ate my bread and wept. This was going to be harder than me getting an actual job. Things were only getting worse as PvP was going to be enabled in 1 minute, and I was severely undergeared. If I didn't find a teammate fast, then there was no way I'd survive. I would spot a player and try to signal an alliance by crouching. Sadly, he denied it immediately and jumped me, and after a frankly embarrassing fight on my end, I died and was back at square one. As soon as the next round began, I spotted a temple and dropped down alongside many people. The more players meant a higher chance of an alliance. I attempted to follow multiple people, but they all ignored me, and I ended up getting trapped in the temple, suffering a miserable death. This is the Hoplite people don't show you. On my next attempt, I immediately went mining instead of getting trapped in the temple like a dumbass. I ended up getting a ton of diamonds, which is perfect. You see, people won't bond with you if they see no gain from it, and if I lured people to me with diamonds, I could possibly form a teammate. Fortunately, I had the perfect amount of diamonds, 2 for a sword, 2 for an enchantment table, and a spare one that I could use as an offering. Surprisingly, VIP ended up responding back with interest, claiming that he'd make a jukebox out of it for his music disc. Sadly, he was across the map, but I didn't think much of it, and waited in the same spot that I broadcasted to the entire server for several minutes. Eventually, he came, or so I thought. This was a completely different player, and due to PvP just being enabled, he jumped me. I was severely underprepared, and had another embarrassing fight, ending with another death. I was so close, yet so far. Everything I was doing wasn't working, and I was worried that this would be impossible to do. I hadn't learned from my lesson though, and when the next match began, I followed an Alex skin to the temple. I figured that if they had a default skin, they'd be less reluctant to team. No matter what I did though, he didn't seem to notice me until I followed him to his hole. Strangely, he repeatedly tried to feed me to the mobs, and only stopped when I threw all of my loot as a last-ditch effort. He helped me out of the cave, and when he approached the surface, he gave everything back and sacrificed himself to me. This caught me off guard. This whole time I was trying to betray people and steal their head. But for the first time, someone gave their head for free as a sacrifice. I knew how to avenge him, so after mining for a while and getting geared up, I went back to the servers for any potential victims. Eventually, I stumbled upon 2 people chasing each other, and realized if I was able to slaughter the person being chased, I'd be able to craft a golden head, which would be crucial for any fights I'd get into. After following him and chasing him off a cliff, I would snatch up his head and get a very good sword. Despite me dying shortly after, I had finally avenged the player that sacrificed himself, which was enough for me. Now I'm gonna go back to hibernating, and until next time, thanks for watching.